Good morning, 8th grade. Today, Tuesday, we are going to begin our unit on verbs. Let's begin first by placing our first and last name on top of the paper. Class 8 and today's date for Tuesday is 10/20, Tuesday, October 20th. As you're completing that, let me just remind you that as we work through our English packet this week, let's be sure to keep all of the papers stapled and together. And when we're completed with this packet, it'll go into Monday's folder. Thank you. Today's lesson actually is review because we're simply renaming what we were calling a predicate as to being the verb. We're going to be identifying the verb in the sentence. What we are going to try and do today is to distinguish between whether our verb is a verb of mental or physical action. I think if we take a look at a couple examples, it will become apparent as to whether or not an action can be seen or whether it's something that is happening within the mind, mental. The main word in a complete predicate of a sentence is called the verb. An action verb is a word that names an action. As we mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, these can be mental or physical. The white cloud floated lazily across the sky. Mary thought about the painting. We notice that both of these are verbs, but one has an action that can be seen, the other one that is of the mind. As we're identifying these, I also want to be reminding you how important it is to be looking to see if there are any prepositional phrases in the sentence. As we move on further this week and we discuss direct objects, it'll be exceedingly important that we identify the prepositional phrases so we don't, by accident, choose a word that is found already inside of a prepositional phrase. So, back to the noun or back to the verbs, action verbs versus those that are physical versus those that are mental. You need to be remembering that we have, has, and had, which are included in the action verbs when they stand by themselves. Also, we will be getting to the point where we review helping verbs and linking verbs. And we sometimes need to be remembering, especially when we're going to talk about predicate nouns and predicate adjectives, when we have, has, and had, and they stand by themselves, it is an action verb, and which means, as we're going to be discussing later this week, that these words can have objects. So Jim has an entire set of Mark Twain books. Jim has experience as a character actor. Anything when it refers to have, has, or had and is owning or holding a possession, this would refer to an action, not a linking verb. And we'll be mentioning that again when we get to that point in Unit 3. Today, my task is going to be in several parts. And here's what I want you to do. We're not going to follow the directions on the page. We're simply going to highlight or circle the noun in the sentence, and then we're going to write physical or mental on the blank. I can see here I've already made a mistake. This should not be noun. This should be verb. Thank you for reminding me about that. Highlight or circle the verb, and then we're going to write physical or mental on the blank. And I've got some examples listed here for us. Number 1, long ago, medieval knights fought battles atop powerful horses. What is my verb in this sentence? What did the knights do? The knights fought. This is physical. Lighter horses carried lords and ladies on fox hunts. Physical. It's a physical action. Travelers rode horses on long journeys. Physical. Later, the wealthy traveled in horse-drawn carriages. That's a physical action. Skip to number 6. American farms had more than 20 million horses and mules in 1900. I'm remembering from up above. That told me that that was an action verb. And number 6 is a physical action. Refers to own. Today, many persons keep horses. Physical. Surrounding number 4 and number 10 are 3 items that I have in red. And the reason that they're in red is because these verbs are not physical. These verbs are mental. They're of the mind. You can't see someone relied. Mental. You cannot see love. Now, somebody could hug. That's an action which supports love. But love can't be seen. It's of the mind. Delight. Again, something of the mind. It's mental. Numbers 5 and 8 and 9 are mental. The rest of the ones that we have from here on out are all going to be physical. Number 10, 11, 12, and 13. Stand, perform, run, swam. All of these are physical. Again, my task is to highlight or circle the verb and then put P for physical or M for mental on the blank. Let's go to the back side, page number 76, and take a couple of more examples beginning with number 14. Brought. Physical. Became. Physical. This is one of those words like has, have, had that shows ownership or holding. This is physical. Used. Physical. Preferred. Physical. Roamed. Physical. Left. Physical. Pull. Physical. My takeaway from today: I have 2 kinds of action verbs. I can have physical action or I can have mental action. If I have one of these verbs, have, has, had, became, where it shows ownership or holding, we're going to have it as an action verb that's physical. If I have something that is of the mind, again, I'm going to call it mental. That completes the lesson that we're going to do today. You have no other items to complete. We're stopping at number 20. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we will review the use of action verbs as being physical or mental. Again, please keep all of these papers together, stapled, and at the end of the week, we want to be sure that it gets into Monday's packet. Thanks for following today. Have a great day. See you tomorrow, Wednesday.